Hello, grade 8 learner! Welcome to your first mathematics video lesson for this school year. In this video lesson, we will be reviewing how to multiply polynomials. Mastering the art of multiplying will definitely help you understand better the next lesson, which is factoring. So, prepare your pen, paper, and mindset as you start watching and learning from this video lesson. Happy learning! This lesson is based on the K-12 curriculum learning competency. The learner factors completely different types of polynomials. By the end of this lesson, you, the learner, should be able to understand and apply the process involved in multiplying polynomials. Let's begin with the lesson. The first thing that you have to do in multiplying polynomials is, of course, to identify correctly the polynomial that you are multiplying. We begin with a monomial. A monomial is a polynomial with just one term. It can be just an integer, it can only be just a variable, or it can be a combination of a number and a variable. Take a look at these examples. Now let's follow the steps in multiplying a monomial with another monomial. First, we multiply the numerical coefficients. That would be the numbers in front of the variables, in this case -2 and 3. We take care to follow the rules in multiplying integers. So here, when we multiply -2 and 3, the answer is -6. This is because negative times positive gives a negative answer, and 2 times 3 is 6. Next, we multiply the variables. We also follow the laws on exponents here. When we multiply variables, especially when they are the same, we copy the common variable and add the exponents of the variables. Thus, a times a is equal to a squared. We then put together -6 and a squared to form our final answer, which is -6a squared. To practice what you have learned, try to multiply the following polynomials: -5x and 3x squared. Follow the steps that we have just discussed. Pause this video first and solve before we proceed to the final answer. Done? If you got -15x cubed as your final answer, then you are correct. Good job! Now we take a look at the process in multiplying a monomial with a binomial. So first, we need to know what a binomial is. From the prefix bi, we learned that the binomial is a polynomial with two terms separated by a minus or a plus sign. Look at the examples and see the difference between a monomial and a binomial. When we multiply a monomial with a binomial, we follow the distributive property of equality. We distribute or multiply the monomial to the terms of the binomial. In our example, we multiply -2a to a and -1, which are the terms of the binomial. Don't forget to follow the steps we had just learned in multiplying monomials. After you've distributed the monomial to the terms of the binomial, you are going to add the resulting products. In our example, the products are not similar terms, so we just write the final answer as -2a squared plus 2a. Now, practice multiplying this monomial 3x to the binomial x plus 6. Pause this video first before we proceed to the final answer. Done? If your answer is 3x squared plus 18x, you got the correct answer. Good job! If we multiply a binomial with another binomial, you can use two ways. One is the distributive property of equality, and the other is the FOIL method. Whichever method you choose, you will still get the same answer. Let's take a look further into these methods. If you are going to use the distributive property of equality to multiply binomials, you are going to follow these steps. First, we distribute the first term of the first binomial to the two terms of the second binomial. Again, we are going to follow the laws of exponents in multiplying the variables, and of course the rule in multiplying integers, especially for the numerical coefficients. If we do the process right for our example, we will have a squared minus 2a as our partial answer. Next, we are going to distribute the second term of the first binomial to the two terms of the second binomial. Don't forget to follow the rules in multiplying integers and the laws of exponents. If we do the process right, then our partial answer will be a minus 2. For our final step, we add the products of our first and second steps. Take care to add or combine similar terms or the terms with the same variable by adding the coefficients and copying the common variable, just like what we did with negative 2a and a here in our solution. After adding and simplifying, we now have our final answer, a squared minus a minus 2. If you notice, the product of binomials is a trinomial or a polynomial with three terms. Take note of this answer as we look at the process for using the FOIL method. In multiplying polynomials using the FOIL method, we use the acronym FOIL or FOIL. FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, and last, which will tell you which terms in the binomials to multiply. In our example, we see that our first terms are a and a, the outer terms are a and negative 2, our inner terms are positive 1 and a, and the last terms are positive 1 and negative 2. Take note of this as we continue with our discussion. To use the FOIL method then, what you have to do first is to multiply the terms of the binomials following the acronym. Thus, we multiply our first terms, a and a, to get the product a squared. Multiplying the outer terms, we have negative 2a. Moving to the inner terms, we have a. And finally, for our last terms, we get the product negative 2. After getting the products of the terms, following the FOIL method, we add these products to get our final answer. Once again, take note that you only add the similar terms, and here we see that only negative 2a and a are the similar terms. So we add them to get negative a. We then copy the other terms as they are to get the final answer, which is a squared minus a minus 2. If we compare this answer with the answer that we got when we followed the distributive property, did we get the same answer? If you have to go back, then go back and see. After discussing the process in multiplying binomials, why don't you try to practice what you have learned? Multiply the following binomials. Remember, whether you use the distributive property of equality or the FOIL method, you will still get the correct answer. Pause this video for a few minutes and solve before you proceed to the answer. Done? If your answer is the trinomial x squared plus x minus 6, then your answer is correct. But if not, study your solution to see where you went wrong. Mistakes are never permanent if you make the effort to correct them. So there you have it, learners. We have just reviewed the process in multiplying polynomials. This will definitely make it easier for you to understand the next lesson, which is factoring. As we say goodbye, let me leave you with a piece of wisdom from Frank Herbert. One learns from books and examples only that certain things can be done. Actual learning requires that you do those things. If you want to truly learn, you have to practice, practice, and practice again. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you again in the next video lesson.